So let's take empathy first. So like I said, when I did these interviews, and I heard these guys talking about empathy, and I'm just like, okay, this is one of these buzzwords again that, you know, I have no idea. I guess I just need to say it enough, and maybe people will believe that I actually, you know, have empathy for them. I don't know, right? And so I had one interview where it all made sense for me, where the design agency was explaining to me the team, the process team and business architecture team they were working with, they had empathy, but the empathy was actually for the technology, right? I mean, we all been there. I'm just as guilty. I mean, I have my iPhone somewhere. I love it. I love the technology. When I build a solution, when I used to build solutions, I fell in love with the solution. And if a customer came and said, or if an employee or whoever came and said, well, we need to do these new requirements, I would say, why? I mean, this is my system, man. You're not going to touch this, right? This is my system. Get away. But it really is about, when we talk about empathy, or as I started understanding it, you know, this design agency was saying, it's really about shifting empathy to the customer or to the employee. And really, when new requirements come in, really being able to say, okay, how are they going to interact? So instead of protecting the machine, I began to start protecting the customer and the employee in terms of what they're doing. And so what it put in my head was this show. How many of you have seen Undercover Boss? I sound like I watch too much TV. Not that I have time. We don't have time to watch TV, but I see the commercials, you know. But at any rate, if you watch Undercover Boss, it's kind of a cool show because they start off at the beginning of the show with the executive in the boardroom, and he's got his suit on, and he's like, yeah, you know, I'm $1 million executive, and I make $1 million, and blah, 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 right? But he's really this high-powered guy on top of the world. So then they send him into one of his chain of restaurant stores, and he's at the cash register working with customers, and he's working with his employees. And at the end of the show, it's hilarious because this same guy who had on the $1 million suit in the boardroom now has on a little t-shirt, and he's all humble, and he's kind of like, I didn't realize how hard my employees had it, and I really didn't realize how hard, you know, it is for customers to interact with us. That's what empathy is really about. Is really, I mean, some of these shows, if you get a chance, definitely check it out, but one that caught me off guard is when the boss, the CEO, actually gave a scholarship to one of the employees because he realized that the employee was sacrificing and not going to college just to work there, right? To take care of his family. And so he actually gave him a scholarship. And that's really what this empathy concept is about, is putting yourself in your customer's shoes, putting yourself in the employee's shoes. And just to give you an example before I go off of this slide, there's one customer I work with gave me an amazing story around this for process, where they were explaining to me that, and this is an insurance company, well, financial service and insurance, but when a person passes away and their loved one has to call in as a beneficiary to claim to get paid out, right? They have to call 10 different departments to close everything out. Think about how crazy that is, right? We basically built, in this scenario, they built the solution around the machines, right? Not around the customer at all. Can you imagine that beneficiary? Do you think that that beneficiary is going to become a customer of that company? I can answer it in 2 words, but I answered in 1, no. There's something that goes before the no, but I'm not going to get into that, right? You can forget it. And that's what we mean when we talk about empathy, right? Is trying to understand that's a horrible experience. How do we build processes and systems that actually cater to delivering not just a better experience, but takes the human into account, the person, right?